Hello everybody, this is Cap of cODeAclysm here with the 26th video in my beginner C++ tutorial series. So in this video we are going to be talking about passing by pointers. So the first thing we're going to do here is make our function. And I don't want to return anything, so of course I'm going to put void as the return type. And I'm just going to name it funct. And I'm going to pass in two poly objects. If you remember, poly is a class that we made a few tutorials back, and since we want to pass them by pointers, we precede the names with an asterisk. Say p1 and poly pointer p2. And in the body, we'll just say P1. And since we're accessing them through pointers, we'll need to use the arrow. Set that equal to 20. And P2, num1, set that equal to 40. And we should be, forgot the semicolon. Okay, we should be all good to go there now. Okay. So let's go down into main and make two poly objects. Say poly A and poly B. And then we will call funct and pass in A and B. So since we are passing them in by pointers, what we actually want to give it is the address of our two, or addresses of our two objects. So therefore we would need to put the ampersand sign here. Ampersand A and ampersand B to give it the address, or addresses, of our objects. And then down here we will just print out a.num1 and b.num1. Alright, let's save it and then run it. Okay, so as you can see, it worked pretty much the same as it would have if we passed by reference. It altered our actual objects and not a copy. So the two differences, or two biggest, most talked about differences, I would say, in my opinion, between passing by pointer and passing by reference is, one, the syntax, and two, the fact that you can pass in null pointers, but you can't pass in null references. In fact, you can't even have null references. So if we were to say 0 here, which would signify that it would be passing in null, we would actually get an error. I'll just show you guys here. S5. And it'll crash. And this is one of the reasons why pointers are considered so unsafe to use, is because when you try to dereference a null pointer, which is what happened here, your program will just crash. You won't get any compiler warnings or anything like that. It'll just crash, and you'll have no idea what's happening. So when we pass in pointers, you usually want to check to see if the pointers are null, the pointers being passed into it. So we'll just say P1, if P1 not equal 0, put that up there, and if P2 not equal 0, cut that and put it up there. Now, if we save it and then run it, we don't get an error because it checked and saw that P2 is null and it didn't try to dereference it. So therefore, it's okay. It just goes on through the function as if nothing happened. So that is one of the advantages of passing by pointers. If for some reason you think that you might have to pass in a null object or a null pointer, then you would use, of course, passing by pointer instead of passing by reference, because you can't have null references. Or, well, I'm sure there are some workarounds or tricks to have null references, but in general, you're not supposed to. Actually, you can even pass in both of these as null. I mean, it seems pointless, but you can do it. And as you can see, it didn't assign anything to either of them. And so the second thing is the syntax. When you pass in by pointer, it is made very clear that you're doing so, because you have to, you have to pass in using the ampersand sign, which means that, you know, when we're calling this, we say, oh, okay, we're passing by pointer. So we have to use the ampersand sign, so it is made extremely obvious that we are, or could be, modifying these objects. But just from syntax, if you're, you know, calling a function or method from who knows where, and you can't see the implementation, it could be, you know, hard to tell right off the bat whether or not you're passing by value or whether you're passing by reference. So you don't know if your objects could be modified or not right away. So that's one of the other things that people seem to talk about with the differences between the two, passing by pointer and passing by reference. But in general, you want to pass by reference unless you have to pass by pointers. In fact, you want to use references unless, you know, you're left with no other choice than to use pointers. So that's pretty much all I wanted to cover in this video. If you like this video, let me know by hitting the like button. If you've seen a few of my videos and you like them, go ahead and subscribe so you can see when I post new ones. And I would like to thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.